continue a little bit with this topic of stress management. Now, I have here that stress by itself is not a bad thing. It's a part of life, and a healthy stress alerts us of danger and motivates us to get things done. And we all are aware of that. The fight-flight syndrome is a stress issue in which, of course, people can perform excellently because of a little stress. Now, the psychologists say that there are two types of stress, with a very extreme one out, that is eustress and distress. Eustress means what they call the good stress, that is stress that can motivate you to go beyond what is required. Sometimes it is seen in the sports arena. And therefore, they're saying all of us need a little stress in order to really function as we ought to. But mismanagement or mismanaged stress can cause us a whole host of problems in our health, in our jobs, and unfortunately, in our relationships. Of course, it is very unfortunate in your health, but in relationships, it is known to be a biggie, to use that expression. So, question is, what can we do to keep, or what can you do, or what can we do, yes, to keep our stress in balance and likewise improve our interaction with others? What can we do to keep stress in a good balance in actual fact? Because if stress interferes with your relationships, you must first deal with your relationship with stress. You hear that one? If stress is causing you interference in relationships, I'm not only talking about the family relationship now, even at church. There are some people that obviously their behavior tells you that they are under pressure. They might not want to admit it, but there are a lot of stressors that are affecting people and causing them to outburst, to behave certain ways, and sometimes if we are not intelligent enough, we would engage them in a foolish direction. So we need to be aware and be conscious that people are sometimes stressed out and they need help even though they don't ask for it. But those are just some preliminary thoughts. Now, I'm going to share with you 6 ways of managing stress. Some of it might have, you think, roll back from what we did, but we're still going to go a little further. Number 1 is identify it. You know, the medical doctors or persons dealing with people with various ailments will tell you, except a diagnosis is done, you can't treat anything. Because if you don't know what is wrong with a man, you're going to mess up the person. So the first thing is to identify whether or not you have this problem, or if it goes to a professional, he will have to identify it. Question I ask here is, or that is asked is, in what ways do your body respond to stress? In what ways? And a lot of people will say, well, I don't feel so stressed. I don't feel it. But very often, your behavior and your body really picks it up, even though you might be even in denial for that matter. Look at these critical thoughts here. Do you clench your teeth? You know that people clench their teeth? You don't realize that that's a stress reaction, Do you clench your teeth or develop a rapid or irregular heartbeat? Sometimes you find your heartbeat, as it were, you say, well, I don't want my heart beating so fast. But if you will go back a little bit, you might realize then, you know what? There's something that is affecting me, and in actual fact, one of the first places that you have that effect is in your heart rate, or even respiration rate for that matter. Then, one of the questions also is, are you prone to headaches? Oh, well, I just got a little headache. Well, it might be dismissed as nothing, but the body could well be sending you a message that something is happening in your environment, that is in the mind, because that's where the stress obviously is at. And it is spilled out or being spilled out in the body. Then the next thought would be, do you feel out of control, and this is a good one, and want to lash out at something or someone? I want you to pause about that a little bit. We have a lot of people who like to lash out. And we don't understand why they're lashing out. They themselves don't necessarily understand. It's not natural behavior just to lash out. I hope you know that. People don't just lash out because they want to lash out and like lashing out. There's something underlying it that obviously is causing that behavior. And by lashing out, I mean of course, saying negative or harsh things or getting on a certain way is a good indicator as well. So that the sooner a person identifies that they are reacting to stress, the sooner you'll get help, as it were, or you'll be able to deal with it before it affects you and your loved ones. So that we're looking at stress reactions, in actual fact, before it reaches a level of family disturbance, church disturbance, neighborhood disturbance. And you know, there are instances in which we've heard of people behaving a certain way because they are put under pressure. You're under pressure, and therefore they have to fight out, as it were, in their estimation. The next point to deal with stress is have it diffused. Don't let it be too concentrated, as it were. Make sure it's diffused so that at least you get a handle of it. Now, once you've identified that you're under stress, you should reward yourself for catching it early with something healthy. You know, we talk about cancer. The best prevention is early detection, right? Or something like that. Where if you detect the thing early, you can handle it better. Once it's detected early, you can deal with it and at least have a jump on it. The same way with stress. Once you have identified it, you've detected it, it means that you can now diffuse it and kind of stop it from really creating problems in a relationship. And one of the simple methods, a matter of fact, I know when I once was being taught public speaking, they would tell you before you go to speak, you're going to feel a little pent-up stress. You're going to feel the butterflies. What you need to do is take a few deep breaths. And that works and works well. Because what it does, it helps you to control the heart rate. Deep breathing slowly helps also. And likewise with stress. If you're under a tremendous amount of stress, it is advisable to take some deep breaths, very deep breaths, also to smile, and you can repeat this little thought. What I feel now is stress, and stress is what it is. What I feel now is stress, and stress is what it is. And they say if you do this for 30 times over and over, it helps calm you down for the situation that you're facing immediately. So we're talking about the immediacy of the situation. It's just like you're deep breathing, and you go in front of the mirror because you're going to speak, and you begin to see yourself speaking. Therefore, you breathe, and you say to yourself, what I feel now is stress, and stress is what it is. And it is amazing, they say, that's what the researchers say, how your heart rate can really come right down and help you relieve the immediacy of the stress at the particular point in time. Another one here that, in Barbados, you say, boy, if you're talking to yourself, don't answer back, or else you might be headed somewhere else. But what they suggest to you is talking to yourself and spending 10 minutes breathing deeply and focusing on positive thoughts will help you feel better. Think about it. The positivity of this whole matter is the key. And very often, a lot of stress comes from negative thoughts. Negative thoughts. So we need to train our minds to be positive. It may become difficult if you're accustomed thinking the worst thing that happened. You know, there are people, if something happened, I know the worst thing that happened to me. They don't ever think something good will happen to them. They're always in the negative line. And you know what they say? What you think will really happen to you. And almost invariably, it is that situation that comes upon people. So what we need to do is get the breathing going and thinking positively. And yes, we can all think positively. We can, according to Ellen White, we can take our minds off the negative and put it on the good things that God has done for us. And also, you will have this thought here, and I will share it with you, that even the researchers say that you should count your blessings. You can imagine researchers who might not necessarily be Christian are saying, look, you could count the goodness that have been happening to you rather than dwelling on people don't like me, they don't want this or don't want that. And there are a lot of people like that. Everything coming to them out is somebody's against you. But you know what? You are really against yourself. That's the real key in this whole issue. That's what you are stressing yourself because you are thinking negatively. If you will learn to think positively, you might be amazed to see how that reaction can go almost immediately. And then it means that you'll be able to cope with whatever it is that is stressing you. But as we go on, you will see something. This is one here. Change your reaction. Change your reaction. You know, very often it's not what people do, it's how you relate to what people do. How I relate to what people do. Whether it's your job situation, your intimate relationship, your partner or your neighbor that's causing you stress, listen, you don't have to change your job, get a divorce, or move away to be happy. A lot of, you know, Ellen has a nice statement inside Adventson talking about a woman who wants a divorce. You know what she tell the woman? You need to change your attitude. And you will see that you won't need a divorce. You are the problem. She told the woman quite frankly so. Change your attitude, and you will see in actual fact a whole change. It is our attitude very often that determines what's around us. We run people with our attitude. You know, people don't want you bogged down with your problem, and you got a bad attitude. People don't want to see you. They avoid you because you are negative and try to pull people down. People don't want that. People need to live at a level in which there can be at least some level of happiness, some ability to cope with things. Then, of course, this point here, by changing your attitude, you'll change your thinking. You see that? Once you change your thinking, your perception will also change. And once the perception changes, ultimately your reality will change. What is the reality that we are living in? What kind of reality are we having? Think about it. The worst thing can happen to me. This and that can happen. This boy don't like me. This boy. You know, people are like that. No, get that attitude. And as Christians, let this attitude be in you, or this mind which was in Christ. And therefore, Christians should not be having these problems, you know. Anybody heard what he just said? If the mind of Christ is your mind, which is the attitude of Christ, you can't be having these all negative feelings, and everybody's against me, and nobody don't like me, and this family, this, and no, we can't be. Consider, therefore, then, am I really a child of God? Could that be the problem? Is that, therefore, a need for a change in attitude? Then this other thought. Don't blame people or situation for your stress. Own it. If you're under stress, don't say somebody caused me. Realize that you, because your attitude, might be causing your own problem. So own up to your own stress, because that is the way of overcoming it. When you identify it, like we said up front. Once you've owned and decided to change the way you deal with stress, you'll move forward and better manage it. Once you change the attitude, man, them always doing this? No. in them is me reacting that way. I will behave differently now, and you will see success in terms of what is happening to you come. Then remind yourself that you are managing your stress, not letting it manage you. That's a good one. You see, if we don't manage it, it will manage us and will push us into the ground. In the workplace, it's not an easy deal. Many workplaces are most stressful, but they become more and more stressful even depending on your attitude to what is happening around you. So as Christians, should we be allowing a workplace situation get to us when we have a mind that has been given to us that we are able to bear all things and see things differently from how the world is seeing them? Seeing them through the world's eye is not the right way to approach it at all. This is the next wonderful one, and we're going to look at that one. Talk about distress. No, women are good at this, and we must applaud them. Women know how to talk about things that a lot of men don't even how to start to talk about them. You may be tired of, listen to this one, you may be tired of hearing about other people's stressful days, or you felt you've unloaded one too many times on your friends. How often have you thrown your stress on your friends? You don't think that you are stressing your friends by throwing your stress on your friends? If your friends don't know how to relieve them through Jesus Christ, that's why the word is, take your burdens to the Lord. That doesn't mean that you might not need help in counseling, but certainly we can do better. The last one says here, but talking to, and I like this, but talking to someone you love and trust, you hear that last word? You love and trust is a quick way to change your entire frame of mind. A person whom you love and trust to tell you the truth, to help you understand what the issues are. Not a person who say, yeah to everything you say. There are people like that. Oh, yeah, Give me persons you really want. They're not helpful. You want a person who you know they love you, you care about them. By the same time, you trust them sufficiently to tell you the truth about yourself as well. Not only for you to talk to them about a problem, but for the person to tell them, look, you know, I think that you are the problem in this respect. You are doing something that you shouldn't be doing, and therefore you're getting that particular type of result. That's a friend in actual fact. And then I say sometimes simply getting it off your chest is all you need to change your perception. And that is so true. You know, I have a friend who has some difficulties. And we would WhatsApp. She picked up she made a call to me. And the woman began to talk as if I created a problem for her. But I just sit back and listen. Then she called me, Mr. Greaves, I just wanted somebody to vent on. I said, well, you had some person to vent on. Because she was so stressed, it was so hurtful to her, what she was saying, you know, as if nobody cared about me, as if I do everything for people, and now that I need help, nobody there to help me. And some of us, we can identify with that. You try to help, and then you know what? When you get in a pickle, nobody there to help you at all. And this is some of the time that we want somebody to talk with, somebody to help you get it off your chest. But remember, to choose carefully who you share with. This is getting incisive now. Choose someone with a positive attitude, or better yet, someone who makes you laugh. It is still true that laughter is often the best medicine. If you go with a heartbreak to some person and they don't cheer you up, don't cause a smile to come on your face, or at least to see a little different, you might as well keep the sore problem to yourself. But what we need is some person to speak with that we can trust, that will encourage us to get away from that morose or that kind of a feeling of being down. You know, sometimes you talk to some person as we're hoping they can help you up, but sometimes they drag you further in the ground. The only people that you want someone who can lift your spirit, who is spirited, that is, a person who have a good relationship and who know how to encourage others. The next bullet says, having healthy friendships helps you not only to manage your stress, but also help you present your best self to your partner. And sometimes we need somebody to encourage us how to speak to our relations. Yeah, we need that sometimes. Sometimes a husband and wife can't get a little situation sorted out. You're not carrying your business to the other person because you know I'm not for that. But you just give a general something, and you might be surprised that you get an answer that you never thought about that can be helpful in a situation. But remember, be wise in whom you speak to. Be very wise in whom you speak to. Then this one, write it down. Write about it. And this has good wisdom on both sides. This is the first bullet. Does something keep you awake at night? That is an indication you under real stress, you know. You can't get sleep. You tossing, you turning, all kind of things in your head. That is evidence of real stress on you. That is a clear indicator that clenching your teeth. That one is one of the big ones. You go into bed laying for 2-3 hours, you can't get an ounce of sleep. If you get sleep, you know what happens? The next morning you get up, you're dead tired. Because your eyes were shut, but your brain was going mad. Consider, therefore, then, whether or not you are not under pressure. And don't say no if it is true. You don't have to tell anybody, but say to yourself, you know what, I am under stress. I am really stressed out. And therefore, then, take the necessary action to help yourself. And like I say, if you can't get sleep, you can exacerbate, you can make the situation worse. Because the next day now, the thing is still bothering you, and you're in more trouble, as it were. And then it can interfere with your daily life. It can interfere, of course, your relationship. Can really make it bad. But jotting down what's bothering you is a good first step. Why jot down? You know, very often we do not remember a lot of things. But you might come to a situation and realize you flew off a handle. Just go back and see, I flew off a handle when this occurred. Because it reminds you know what? When this situation comes up, I am not supposed to fly off my handle. But then further than that, it helps you to clear your head, as the old people will say. Because reading it back helps you in actual fact. But you must be very careful. Don't dwell upon that thing that you've written down. You've written it down for the purpose of help cleaning it out. But don't go dwelling on it all the time. But rather, consider counteracting it with a bullet of stress by writing down things that you are grateful for. If you have some stressful situations, write down things that are helpful to you that say, you know what? I experienced a good lunch today. I had a good chat with my friend today. Because what you're doing is realizing that, you know what, there's an other side to the pressure of stress. Then these two last bullets is one that we like to talk about. Being thankful and counting your blessings is a huge stress reliever. And that is directly from the psychologist. Count your blessings, I say here, name them one by one, and you'll be surprised to see what God has done for you, how you can be relieved from your problems. How often do we stop back and really thank God? Thank God for a job. Thank God for food. Thank God for the clothing. Thank God for shelter over our head. We don't do that often. We thank God for other things. People don't seem to like to thank God for what we call the little things. Thank God for the little help for God. And if you do it, how often is done? That's the question. So that if you make that a routine, it might amaze you that a lot of the stress that we encounter can be dealt with. And this last bullet, chill out. Young people tell, chill out, man. Just relax. Take it easy. And that has to be said often to a lot of us. Man, chill out. Where you getting on so far? You're getting on. You're fussing up and fighting at yourself. Just chill out. Just relax. Listen carefully. Make stress relief part of your daily routine. Carve out some time each day to unwind. If you're under pressure, listen to this one. Even if it's just 5 minutes, put everything on pause for a bit. Your phone, hello, your computer, your desk, or your work. Can anyone identify what I just said there? I saw a pointer. Put them on pause. Leave them and go somewhere. Relax. Take some deep breaths. Left the phone by itself. There's a time for the phone. You might be helping some person, encouraging, but you yourself need to also relax. Get up and walk outside. You know, I'm an advocate for taking a drive in the country or taking an early morning movement, those kind of things. You might be amazed to see how your day can change when you inject some kind of a stress-relieving activity. And one of the better ones, exercise, whatever exercise it is. Walking, swimming, cycling. The point is, you are actually letting out a lot of the pressure that you have probably had built up for a period of time or even for a day. So get up and walk outside for a few minutes. Just a few minutes. That's if you're at work and you got the pressure tight. As a matter of fact, the research is showing now that people should not even sit down 30 minutes continuing in front of a computer. As a matter of fact, it's now going to the extent where they are asking the people who are saying, well, look, the best way to deal with these computers and so on is to stand up and work rather than sit down, because they're saying sitting down is a disease now. You can imagine that? Sitting down is a disease. You sit down too long, it creates a problem. So they tell you now they have workstations where people are just standing and doing their work. And they say that is a better approach also for your health. Then one of the nice things you can do, take a time to drink a little nice cool glass of water or some little, you know, one of the teas that we use, tea bags and so on, and relax. But, you know, lots of us don't really relax, you know. Man, you got some people always going, walking. And when they're walking, their mind going just like how they're walking. You know, it's time to relax. And as Christians especially, we should not reach the burnout stage. That's the other extreme now of you stress and distress. We really get burnout. You hear people saying, I got exams. I so stressed out. Because you wait till last minute to cram. Last minute you can go through some things, but not cram. That burns you out. And then when you get in the exam room, everything is fuddled up and muddled up inside your brain. And that's how people actually crash. Also, admire some aspect of nature. Drink some water, relax, get some fresh air. Look at the trees, listen to the birds. And one of the things that I've prized myself is just sometimes stopping and listen to hear birds. Many of us don't hear the birds chirping. You can even hear them right now, but many people don't hear them chirping. When last you stopped and heard a bird really chirping, listen carefully to it. Many of us don't get that, don't use that privilege. And then to the last one, sorry. Now, you know how hectic life is. Everybody's saying life is hectic. And unexpected things happen. When seriously unexpected things, it could be accidents. It could be, well, some other hurtful things. But the more you create time for handling life's little challenges, the more smoothly and calmly you will function. The little things in life, Solomon once said, it is the little foxes that spoil the vines. Because if you don't get over the little things, it could come and eat your family. It could come and disrupt the relationship. So that a little something like, just trying to find a very mundane something that can upset people. Oh, I come in the house and then say good afternoon. Wait, wow, I'm not going to tell me good afternoon. You stressed, you know. You're stressed out now. Just like some person said that their work, this is an artisan, he worked till 9 o'clock at night. And when he get walking in the house, his lady can say, wait, how are you? He said he's so tired. He had to push you off and go and say, get a bath and get sleep. Before she come and give encouragement, wait, why are you coming very late? Implying something, but the man said, he don't work at 9 o'clock because we're pushing the job. And before she come and say, well, glad to see you. Wait, why are you coming very late? And implying that is something. You wait somewhere on me. So that we need to understand that a soft answer still does what? Yes, you know the answer to that. And then the final thought is showing up fully in your relationship starts with taking responsibility over your stress reaction. You hear what I just said? Showing up fully in your relationships. That is to say, you are center of your relationships. It means that you must have taken responsibility for your own stress. And finally, see stress as an opportunity. What are you saying? I mean, stress is so terrible, you can see the opportunity. Listen, as you change your relationships with stress, you will feel more calm, centered, and grounded. So that is what I meant by, in actual fact, seeing stress as an opportunity. You realize it is there. It helps you to change your attitude, help you to be now grounded in actual fact, so that you can be calm and very centered. Now, obviously, I have to start because of other constraints, but there might be questions that people might have. But what I want you to realize is, first and foremost, you are the problem and not the other person. Until we realize that, we are not going to get over the problems that we are having in relationships, in church, at work, in families, etc. See that, you know what? Let me change my relationship and see if my perspective being changed does not affect or influence other people as well. Because, you know, if you carry a sulky attitude, it is going to cause a reaction. Likewise, if you carry a very happy and outgoing attitude, it also affects people. Therefore, I suggest to you, to us all, let's take the high road. Let's, in actual fact, own our stress so that we can overcome them by addressing them in a wise way. Okay? Brother Tony, you have a question? Sister, have a question? All right, I need, right. Before you go, Frank, you say people give a problem, people to bother you. It is how you react to the problems and to people that you get your problems, Frankie. But how you react is the question. Yes, Brother Tony.
Yeah, good evening, sir. What would you say to some person?
Mic is on? Yeah.
What would you say? What would be your answer to some person have children, and when they get a certain age, they put them out of their own house? Let me say, per se,
The child put the parent out of the house?
Yes, put them in the doghouse or in the yard.
Okay.
What would you say? Would that person have stress, or what should they do in that circumstance, sir?
Now, that obviously suggests something further back, Brother Tony. Right much back. What was your relationship with your children? How do you relate to those children so that they are now relating that way to you? And that is something that you have to consider in actual fact. So I can't answer it just off the cuff. It is wrong for children to do that. We have, especially as Christians, our mantra is, children, on your appearance. And the first command or promise is what we know at Paul's people, Ephesians. So that in that kind of a case, those children obviously cannot be Christian. I don't mind people professing, you know, but I'm talking about the real deal. Because you cannot feel good putting your old parents out of their own property and still walking about saying you're in a church and you're praising the Lord. So very often, it's a lot involved in that kind of thing. So I would just answer that way for now, if you understand what I'm saying. All right, one more hand you see somewhere. Yes, Christine, go to the mic kindly. There's a mic there in the center.
What you're saying is all well and good. However, I'm seeing it still on one side, because you've given us a scenario where this gentleman came in from work and his wife greeted him in a particular way. And because he was already stressed from work, he pushed her aside. And to me, it's conflicting with what you're saying, because this is One, you're talking about one person should deal with their stress, and yet somebody else come in, they have a stress, and they deal with it differently. And it's just that we need to be careful what signal we are giving out to people. Because here he's stressed, even though he's coming from work and he's tired, that was not the response that he should have been given either.
Thank you. Somebody else? Okay, if there are no more questions, I will demit my position here immediately. Thank you for being so attentive. Have a good afternoon.